Hello, everybody. It's Sephiroth for another weekly update. It's about to say in the last episode. No, don't do that. As you can see, I'm wearing my Yankees cap. Why? Two reasons. One, baseball season has started. I mean, it started like 2 weeks ago, but you know what I mean. Wow, this thing is full of dried sweat. I never noticed before. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the past, so I may as well wear a hat that I used to wear for all my weekly updates in the past before I got this cool new one last August. But yeah, so a few things. I'll get to the more serious reflection-y stuff later, but this week in review, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, I finally got it. It didn't come out this week, it came out last week, but I only got it this week because I had it shipped to me. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, I've been playing it on my 3DS, the new 3DS XL, and it's fun, it's good. I mean, I love Xenoblade in the first place, so I wasn't expecting it to not be fun, but it took me a little bit to get used to the changed button schemes and things like that. Like, some of the button schemes are different, but they preserve pretty much the same game. I like the mobile aspect of it. I can use the Shulk amiibo to tag it in once a day and get these like token things that you use to get like figures and music tracks. It's purely aesthetic. The figures are all 3D models that you could look at, kind of like in Smash Brothers with the trophies. And the music tracks are the soundtrack that you can listen to, and you can close the 3DS and just listen to it on headphones. It's nice. But that's a feature that you don't need the Shulk amiibo for. It's just an added thing or whatever. You can also use 3DS Play coins to buy tokens, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, the game is pretty much the same. It looks very nice in 3D. I mean, it doesn't really look that much different at all from the Wii version, aside from the fact that the screen is a lot smaller, and that's something that you will have to get used to. The buttons are nice. They use the ZL and ZR buttons a bit more than in a better way than the Wii U version, just because that the start and select buttons are placed differently, so they want to make it easier just on the hands. They also changed a few things in the game that just refined it a bit, because they learned from the previous release of the game. Stuff like with most of the missions, when you complete it, you get the reward. You don't have to return to the original person or whatever, like with all the missions, even if it's like, find my lost key, pick up the key, done. It's like, well, do I get it back? No, I found it though. That's what you asked me. You asked me to find your key, and I found it, and now I'm gonna keep it forever. So it's kind of funny. Just the annoying thing is, like, if you want to save the quests until you have a certain party member, or until you for certain things, some people want to do it all at once, or they want to use affinity coins or whatever it is in the game, experience, things like that. When it's automatic, it doesn't give you an option to turn it in. It's like automatic. Like, you pick the thing up, done, here's your reward. It doesn't say, would you like to complete the quest? Like it does in the original game. Like, turn in the quest or accept the reward, whatever. So it's a little jarring. Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night. It's a little jarring, but it's just something to get used to and adapt strategies to. Personally, I don't care. It does mess around with my just methodic way. Okay, I'm going to do all the quests at once, and if they keep on turning themselves in automatically, I lose track of where the heck I'm supposed to be in the quests that I stack up. So, like I said, it's just something to get used to. I need a tissue, I'm sorry. But it's good. I like it. It's a fun game. If you have a new 3DS XL, I recommend it highly. Yeah. I don't know what's up with me. Also, this past week, for Club Nintendo members such as myself, Mewtwo became available, and I have been playing the heck out of him. Mewtwo is awesome. I mean, I wasn't expecting him not to be awesome, because I played Melee, and he was awesome, but they improved him, in my opinion. He is a heavy hitter. A lot of his attacks, especially his smashes, I mean, his regular moveset is the Shadow Ball, charge up, was about to say like Lucario, but that would be a terrible thing to say. Lucario is a clone of Mewtwo, and we all know it. But yeah, Shadow Ball charges up, and when it's fully charged, it does a lot of damage, like 30 plus damage. He has Disable and I don't remember Teleport, and I don't remember the side B, but it reflects objects really well actually, and it also flips people, and Disable stuns them for a bit, so you can then smash them with a Hadouken. That's his side smash. Also, one of the skins is awesome. It's like a reverse color Mewtwo. Like his tail is the light color, and the rest of his body is like the dark purple, and it looks amazing. But yeah, just using Mewtwo is great. He has a great jump. He's really light, but I find that even if he gets knocked around a lot, I'm able to recover pretty well, unless I have high damage. Obviously, he's not heavy like Ganondorf, who's my main character. But he has, I wouldn't say comparable power, because Ganondorf is in a power set all to himself. But Mewtwo's very strong, he's very agile, although Teleport is awful. But he's very fun to use, so I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to the end of the month when he becomes available to everyone else, and hopefully they add in the custom moves. Because right now Mewtwo only has, one move each, and I want to see what other customs I can put in. So, it's fun times. Also, I got a new Nintendo Force magazine yesterday. Good stuff. I started reading it, and it came with 2 posters. One of them my little brother has. It's a double-side poster with like a Mario Party 10 thing on one side and Codename Steam on the other. But the other poster, which I was looking forward to, is a Majora's Mask poster, which I don't know where I'm going to hang up because I'm running out of wall. But yeah, one side is like the box art, and the other side is like that puzzle that they're giving, that they had on Club Nintendo. I think I'm going to use this side, even though both sides are awesome, and I want to just photocopy it and make 2. But I think I'll do this side because Fierce Deity Link for the win. But yeah, so thank you very much, Nintendo Force people. I think that poster was included because they reached a certain amount of subscribers during the Kickstarter, so that was very nice. Excuse me. Also been playing more Twilight Princess. I just beat the City in the Sky, so I'm up to the second to last dungeon. The last dungeon that you get a reward for beating, the second to last dungeon in the game, because technically the Hyrule Castle is the last dungeon. But yeah, it's been pretty fun, and my file's only at about 30 hours, so I really thought it was a longer game, but maybe I'm just getting better at it. So in the future, if I ever decide to do a Let's Play, it actually won't be too long, and that's actually nice. I know Majora's Mask was like 60 episodes. This probably would be around the same length, depending on how much time I cut out, because I spent a lot of time just wandering around trying to find this one heart piece before I remembered that there's a character in Hyrule, in Castletown, named Madame Finati, or however you pronounce it, that tells you where the heart pieces are that you missed. So that was like, ow. But yeah, fun times. I think I'm going to move on to Skyward Sword next and try to beat that finally. Start from the beginning and play through it. That's going to be a longer game. Also, I started a new side Let's Play, The Wonderful 101, this past week. Actually pretty surprised at the reception it got. I honestly thought that no one was going to watch it because it's a Wii U game and it's kind of off the beaten path in terms of people playing or knowing about it. But the first episode got a lot of attention, and that's cool. And so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's a fun game. It's wacky. It's crazy. And I die a lot. And it's fun. It's fun to watch. But yeah, so look forward to that. Look forward to more Pokemon Diamond and Pearl versus. This weekend is Pokepalooza 2.0, where we're going to be playing main series Pokemon games, meaning the Generation games, Coliseum, things like that. So personally, Saturday night and Sunday afternoon, like 10 to 12 Saturday night and like from 2 to 6 or something, I don't know, it's 2 blocks on Sunday afternoon leading up to the end, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Heart Gold, hopefully, provided I don't get horribly sick. So yeah, the go follow Nintendo Project on Twitter. So it's gonna be a charity marathon. Go follow Nintendo Project on Twitter. They have the schedule there, and we have a website and things like that. And follow the Twitch page and all those sorts of good things. There's gonna be a lot of fun people contributing to this one, so check it out. So yes, on to more serious things. So today's April 19th. 2 years ago, let's see if I can find it. Yes, right over here. I hope you guys don't think it's weird. I have like a collection of hospital bands from various points in the past 2 years, but this is a hospital band that I wore on April 19th, 2013, when I got my spinal surgery at Hospital University of Pennsylvania. So 2 years ago today, I got spinal surgery. The story behind that, if you don't know already, if you're new to the channel or things like that, is that starting late summer, early fall of 2012, I was experiencing a lot of back pain and things, and I thought it was just because I spent most of the summer garden, like helping out in the garden, on the farm, and things like that. So I thought that it was just related to that. But the back pain started getting worse, and I started up, semester of college, and eventually came to the point where I had to stop going to classes and things like that. And in March, I just stopped showing up at the university altogether. I was dorming at the time, but I couldn't even dorm there. I just had to lay in bed at home all day. So, we went to some doctors months earlier, and they took x-rays, and they said, everything's fine, it's just a strained back. And then the pain started getting worse and worse, and I was complaining about it a lot on Twitter and things, and people are like, Dovey, go get an MRI. And I'm like, okay. So we got an MRI, and it turns out that one of my spinal vertebra was broken, broken open. So we decided, and there was something growing out of it, so we decided to get it surgically removed, whatever the thing was. And by thing, I mean a tumor. So we had the spinal surgery 2 years ago today, and going into the surgery, I was in so much pain. I couldn't I could hardly stand up and move and things, and I was still active. But the doctor afterwards, he said, I don't even know how you were standing up. I had lost all the feeling in my right leg at the time. And it turns out that the reason why was because, if you don't know how spine works, spine 101. So essentially, your spine is made up of two parts, two interlocking pieces. You have the actual spinal vertebra on the closer to the inside, which is shaped like this. If you're looking from the top of my head downwards, you have this, and then you have the dorsal vertebra, which, if you feel along your back, along the middle, there's bumps and stuff, so that's the dorsal vertebra, which locks in kind of like that, whatever. Kind of locks like that, whatever. Yeah. And through the middle goes your spinal column, made up of your nerve center and everything that controls it. And if you don't know how nerves work, essentially it's electrical impulses that go from your brain everywhere else and back. And if those electrical impulses are blocked in any way, then combination of things happen. One, extreme pain, because that's essentially a constant signal saying, hey, something's touching me. And the other thing that happens is that if there's no electrical signal that reaches, let's say, your muscles or whatever, they don't work. Your muscles just don't work. They need the impulses. So I had a tumor growing out of the inner vertebra, and that was pushing my spinal cord up against the dorsal vertebra, essentially cutting off the bottom half. And this was on the lower half of my back. Not the lower half, but the lumbar area, but nobody knows what that means. It's the right near your tailbone and things. And it was very painful. And so what it was doing, it was cutting off the nerves to my leg, and it was just causing a constant pain, especially whenever I had to bend or anything. It would make it worse. And the tumor had grown from inside of the bone and burst the bone. It's called a burst fracture, burst outward, pushing the. So we had to get that. We had to get the tumor surgically removed. I needed the dorsal vertebra completely removed, and essentially they just pinned everything together and fused all the vertebra in that area into one with pins and screws, so that it would just create a cocoon around the spinal cord. And the surgery was a success, and took me 3 days before I could leave the hospital, but like the first day it was just agony because I couldn't move because I had just had my back cut open. The nice thing was they were able to do it right down the middle where there was no muscle, so they didn't have to cut through muscle, which made my recovery a lot easier, because if you have to cut through muscle, then they have to stitch you back together, and then you can't actually move because every time you move is agony. But they were able to completely avoid the muscle, just move it out of the way, and so that was actually kind of nice. But once I was able to start walking again and they could take the dressing off and things like that, the pain had pretty much gone away. Although the lack of feeling in my right leg mostly went away. It's still kind of there, but it got better. And it moved into my left leg just from the surgery, because when you mess around people's spinal cord, which is essentially a bunch of strands of linguine, it's very delicate. Things can happen. So right now, like, my leg doesn't have any feeling in it. That my thigh anyway. I can still walk, and that's the thing. That's the good thing. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, what this led to was, they took the tumor out and they started doing tests on it and things, and eventually it led to my current diagnosis of stage 4 neuroblastoma. They said, oh, okay, this is neuroblastoma, but this isn't where it started. So I got more tests, and they said, oh, it's also wrapped around your adrenal glands and on your hip and in your ribs and your shoulder and all sorts of other places. So about a month later I started getting chemo, and here I am today. I have this one hair like right over here. You can't really see it, but it's like 2 inches long. It just doesn't fall out. It's fun. But yeah, so that led to everything, and I'm not going to go into the chemo because that's not what I'm talking about. But the surgery was really nice because I was finally able to like not have pain for a while. Although the fact is that we learned that I was dying very quickly of cancer. And we were able to stop that, or not reverse it yet, but at least stop it. It was nice just to have that reprieve. And I always mention that I only got the MRI to see what exactly was going on because you guys, especially Twitter, pestered me into doing it, saying, Dovey, why don't you just get it checked out, because it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and you've been complaining about this for a while. So yeah, so I do thank you all once more for that, because I do consider that you have saved my life, because without that I probably would have waited another month or two, and then it would have been dead, because my spinal cord would have been completely cut off. I would have been paralyzed from the waist down, and the cancer probably would have progressed to a point where it was untreatable. Because as it was extremely malignant and growing really fast. And as it didn't respond well to the medicine that I originally got. So, the time that we took to wait probably would have been fatal. Not something fun to think about, but it is always important to put things in perspective that yes, I'm here, and there's reasons why. But, why am I talking about this? Just because it was 2 years ago that I got the surgery, and that kind of just completely changed my life. I mean, I could point to different areas where it completely changed my life. The day I first started getting chemo, the day my hair fell out, the day I got the treatment that I'm currently on that's actually working. I don't know, the day that I got the MRI, but the surgery is a big point, and it's point that I remember, and just try to keep in mind that, if you're not feeling well, this is something that people keep saying, but it just doesn't get through to some people. If you're not feeling well and it doesn't go away, you go to the doctor. And I know it's annoying and MRIs suck, but you go and you have it checked out. Your back hurts, you have a persistent pain in your side, anything, you go to the doctor and you have it checked out. You can get cancer or tumor or a herniated disc or anything at any age. Any age. I'm currently at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. It's a children's hospital, but I have a cancer that's normally in children, so that's why I'm being treated there, which is nice because the doctor I have is the world expert on neuroblastoma, thankfully. Like, the world expert. He literally wrote the book on it. But, I see kids there that are newborn infants that are born with cancer. Nothing to do with the parents, it's just cancer sucks. Cancer's kind of a douche. But, that's the understatement of the day. I see kids that are, all ages, and, next door to us is the hospital, University of Pennsylvania, and they, when I was there for the surgery, there was an oncology ward, and there's people there from all ages too, 20 to 80, everybody gets cancer or any of these things, and it just happens, your body is constantly filled with cancerous cells, but most of the time, 99.99% of the time, those cells die before they can start replicating, or your body kills them because your body is like, hey. So, but there are those times where something just starts growing. And it might not be cancer, it might be a cyst, which is just an annoying little pocket of gunk. Or it might be appendicitis. Hopefully it's not, because that is also very bad. Or it could just be a strain, or a break, or a fracture, or something. 3 years ago, I was walking down the street, a perfectly flat street, and all of a sudden I just felt pain in my foot. We got it checked out, and for some reason, the middle of my foot fractured itself. For no reason, so I had to wear a cast for a few months. And when I got the surgery, the doctor said I have bones of marble. He was amazed at the bone density. He said it was terrific. So I don't know how my foot broke like the previous year, but it did. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you're tall or short or fat or skinny, healthy or prone to sickness. Things just happen, and if you get hurt or something persists for over a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and you just have something that's been bothering you, go to the doctor, please. Because in the past year, I've seen so many people that just have surprise cancer, and it's not just me. People I don't know, Total Biscuit, and there's a few other people I'm trying to remember, but one of my neighbors here, his son got cancer. Thankfully, he worked past. He was able to get it into remission, so that's awesome. But just it just happens, and you got to do something about it. And that something is be proactive, and that's the message of the day. And that's really the point of me talking about this, is because I wouldn't have. I'm someone who can tolerate a very high amount of pain, which is why I didn't go to the doctor really beforehand. We kind of went to people, but they were all really stupid and didn't actually diagnose things properly. I was already sick of doctors because I had been sick with this persistent headache that, thinking back, was probably related to the tumor growing in my back or the cancer or whatever, slowly starting. But so I already had my fill of doctors. But it doesn't matter if you hate doctors or if they've screwed you in the past or you think that they're incompetent. Find someone who, ask around. Find someone who is competent, because your life is more worth it than your discomfort and or annoyance at having to go to visits and get scans and whatever. You gotta just do this. We gotta do this. You know, it's really easy to just keep putting it off, but the longer you wait, the harder it is to recover. And that's a lesson that I learned, and I thank you guys for teaching me this lesson and not having it be a lesson that someone else learns on my behalf. But yeah, this week is a chemo week, so it's going to be a bit low-key, but there shall be at least 2 Wonderful 101s and 2 Ni no Kunis. I don't know about Friday, because I only have 2 Ni no Kuni videos pre-recorded, and that might be hard to record today because there's a lot of stuff I have to do, but we'll see. But yeah, once again, if you stuck through, thank you very much. Pokepalooza 2.0 is this weekend, and I shall see you guys next time. This has been Sephiroth04 with the weekly update. Goodbye, everybody. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.